Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going? God be with you. So let's get into some of these markets. So first we got USDT.D, so US dollar tether dominance, which is the stable coin you're going to flip into, or USDC, which I will pull up that chart next, plus USDT.D. This is a stable coin you're going to switch into when you sell your crypto long term. So when this chart goes up, it's bad for crypto. When it goes down, it's good for crypto. So we completely broke this downtrend on this Wyckoff Creek right here. We're breaking the 50 level on the RSI, weekly time frame wise. And we need to deny off the 200 SMA in this weekly supply zone, or crypto is done for a while. Daily time frame, all SMAs below price and looking insanely bullish, unfortunately. Let's flip over, see what I was saying about that, which when we look at the Dixie, you'll see how these charts are correlating pretty well now and how they both look, unfortunately, super bullish. So, I mean, looking at this chart, we came back down, tapped on that creek trend line, and looking like we want to come higher. Now, we might come higher into this demand zone. I'm thinking we might come up to this 5.80% level before we see any more downside. But you got the 50 and 200 crossing, price extended from the Orochimoku cloud and the 821 cross with price still holding the 8. So you do see a little chop up here in the overbought area in the RSI, and then an overbought area in the stochastic. So overall, this is actually looking good, which is bad. So let's flip over to USDT.D and USDC.D. So looking at this chart, let's pull up the weekly. So I was doing a little Wyckoff method here, and I'm trying to decide which is going to be the last point of supply. Now, obviously, I really want this to be the last point of supply because what I'm looking for is maybe a sweep of these highs around 9% and then a chop back down, right? Some along these lines so we can remain bullish. But, obviously, I don't get to decide what happens because I would be draining this chart down to 0%. But yeah, looking at it, unfortunately, weekly time frame wise, we have 200 above price still, which is good, but we have all the other SMAs crossing right below price. Not good. RSI looking like it can extend higher, and luckily the stochastic is in the overbought area, indicating some sort of downside. And this week we did have a large wick right here, but let's flip down to the daily. And daily's looking even better in a worse way. So we have all this. We have the 50 and 200 crossing along with the 821 looking very similar to the daily on here. SMA wise, you can pretty much see the similarity. Extender from the Orochimoku cloud. Long story short, this is indicating short-term tactical downtrend in crypto right now, but uptrend in this chart, meaning downtrend in crypto. So let's flip over to Bitcoin real quick. So, I mean, weekly time frame wise, stochastic, RSI, and oversold area. RSI breaking that 50 level, indicating that, and we did have the 821 cross, indicating potential more downside, which when we look at that USDC chart, pretty much reflects Dixie. So this makes a lot of sense how we might see a little more downside, but we're holding that 100,000 level strong. I mean, we have to hold it strong too. Bouncing from daily demand zone, holding the 100,000 psych level pretty well as of right now. All SMAs above price though, but we do see stochastic RSI bottom and oversold area, and RSI looking like it may want to bounce here. Need to get back of 104 and 110,000. We need to get back above these levels. Like, it's inevitable. If crypto is going to survive, we got to get back above those levels. Let's flip over to Ethereum. So looking at the weekly time frame, looking very similar to Bitcoin. Price is holding this 50 SMA, which I want to see. Price still is quite a bit of ways away from the 200, and then still extended from the Orochimoku cloud. But we do see this 8/21 trying to creep up there and cross stochastic and over sold area. But this RSI is breaking the 50 level, indicating possible downtrend. So flip down to the daily. So bouncing from daily demand zone, it did sweep it. It swept this low at 30.50. So bouncing from daily demand zone around 3,500. Weekly RSI falling below 50 level like I just showed, while stochastic is floored in oversold area. Then the daily RSI bounced right into oversold area with the stochastic RSI bottomed at oversold area. So we did see this bottom right here, indicating a potential uptrend. Need to hold daily 200 SMA here. Right here, we got to hold this white line right here. I mean, I'm really hoping price gets above this. Need to break 3,800 level to switch back to bullish structure tactically. I mean, overall, we got to Let's go. Let's go down to the weekly on Solana. So had major buyback from 145. You can see this wick down here. Weekly demand zone, weekly RSI and stochastic looking very similar to ETH. 200 SMA still well below price along with let's swim down to the daily real quick. So daily time frame wise, it's looking very similar to Ethereum. We got to hold this. You kind of see this liquidity trend line right here. When we go to Ethereum, we see this like same sort of move, this lower high, or sorry about that, this lower low, unfortunately. But long story short, if we were to go daily time frame wise and really take a Fibonacci retracement from the absolute swing low to swing high, I mean, we're right in that 50% level, right around that 3,500 demand zone. So if price can hold this, it's looking good. Solana wise, daily swing fib price bouncing from discount zone. So that discount zone is going to be the 0.75, 0.79 level. Need to hold 160 level and break 200 again to switch to bullish tactically. Daily RSI bouncing from oversold area with stochastic floored. This will be where we need to see bulls step in or we're cooked. Not really, not literally, but obviously it's crypto, so anything can happen. But I mean, this just is, it's not good. This is not looking good right now. Unfortunately, we got to see some buyback. I put this FVG right here showing that price still might come back up in here before going lower. So you might see, this 180 range at least come back up into there before going lower, which I really hope is not the case. But all right, let's flip over to others dominance. So this is all the altcoins in crypto. Besides top 10. So besides the top 10 coins in crypto, this is the dominance of that chart. So I took this fractal here from my last video. I showed this from November 2023 to April 2024 to kind of show like what it would look like going from November 2025 into April 2026. And ultimately it's kind of following this trend. We did see this kind of black line, but it came all the way down here to 4.8%, had this huge buyback. And now weekly RSI still below 50 level with stochastic bottom and oversold area. All SMAs above price. We are still holding 6% weekly demand zone nicely. This little white box right here. So we flop down to the daily time frame. So daily time frame. Daily time frame wise, RSI breaking 50 level. That is looking good. Stochastic creeping into oversold area. Not good. A/21 SMA cross and 50 moving into support. Possibly we may see pullback into FVG. Like I was saying, it's A/21. Hopefully this 50 SMA can come below price to give price a little more support. But this A/21 crossing is showing a decent sign. I recorded this video yesterday and price didn't bounce back into here yet, but I said it most likely would, and looks like we are seeing that pullback into the FVG right now. So overall, I mean, I really do want to see a bounce here. That's what I want though. So I'm not Mr. Market Maker. I don't make these huge bids and these huge buys and sells. So either way, we might see a little more chop in here. So let's switch over to stocks and indices. Switch to NASDAQ. Let's go to the weekly. I mean, weekly wise, I mean, dude, this is just insanely bullish. Look, I mean, this is just so far extended from the Orochimoku cloud. You got the 21 and 50 SMA crossing along with the triple cross right here on the 8, 21 and 50 and 200 SMA well below price. So we're still looking insanely bullish here. We're seeing price pull back from overbought zone with stochastic. So, whoa. Yeah. Overbought zone with stochastic and the RSI. And then looking at daily time frame. So looking at the daily time frame, bouncing right off of that swing high to swing low daily time frame wise, discount zone at 0.75, 0.79. Daily RSI crossing below 50 levels, stochastic in oversold area. So crossing below 50 in oversold area. So it's giving conflating signs right now, which when we flip to Dixie, I'll kind of show why I think we're still going to come a little lower. Now let's flip down to and we have the 50 SMA holding price, 821 above, but Orochimoku cloud still price extended away and 200 well below price. Let's drop down to the 4 hour real quick. So 4 hour real quick, it looks like 25,000 is like a really big psych level for this pair. I think that not really pair, but um, future contract and ETF stock. So I think that H4 time frame wise, RSI is looking great along with key cycle level bounce. So RSIs, we see this bounce from the oversold area, and we're also seeing this oversold area in the stochastic RSI showing that the sellers are getting worn out. So this is looking really good right now, especially when we flip over to IWM. Now, last night when I recorded this and my mic wasn't working, so I had to re-record it, this wick was not showing. So this is actually a really good sign right at the high we need to hold, this 2024-2025 cycle high. Right where we need to hold, it looks like we had a huge wick, which is amazing. I mean, this is really, really good. So I am really glad to see that. Still trying to move into price discovery, all SMAs except 8 below price. As we see A/21 cross along with the 200 holding extended from the Orochimoku cloud. RSI in overbought area along with stochastic in overbought area. So when we switch to Dixie, I'll show you why we might be seeing some downside here soon. But overall, let's flip down to daily. So daily time frame wise, we had a decent buyback right here. And daily SMAs above price except 200 need a bounce from top of range around 240. So around 240, this zone around here where this red line is, we got to see a bounce from here, which we are seeing a little bit of bounce right into the Orochimoku cloud. So overall, especially with this is breaking the 50 level, but this is in the oversold area for the stochastic and then kind of chopping down in the RSI. So this really does not look that bad. But once we finally see this price discovery, we'll see altcoins finally gaining a leg, really hoping to see this come into price discovery so soon, hopefully, because this way has been insanely brutal. I mean, this way has just sucked. I mean, there's no other way to put it. This way has sucked. It hasn't been good. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. Now, if we go over to Apple, so looking at Apple, weekly RSI trending, stochastic and overbought area, SMAs below price, may see price come back into 260 to make a nice demand zone. So looking at this, the reason I picked Apple is because it just looks so good. I mean, if we're going to look at any stock, Apple is just looking insanely bullish right now. I mean, it's a little overextended, but it's a good extension. The fact that it broke this recent high, it had a nice pullback in the discount zone. Really nice rally up here, and it broke the all-time high. Now I'm thinking that to be able to solidify the supply to demand zone flip, we need to see that pullback into 260 and then a little chop right there and then a leg higher. I think that, ultimately we are coming higher here either way. So flip down to the daily. So daily time frame, both RSIs coming out of oversold area with 8 SMA trying to cross above price. Overall looking good, but may see price touch at 260 level before coming higher. Like I said, at 260 is really, really, really a key level, but RSI coming over bought area and then stochastic coming out over bought area. So that does kind of give me that indication that we are going to see a little more downside right here. I think this 8's going to creep up above the price, maybe not literally push it down, but causing with price, obviously people selling into this 260 level to kind of get more positions before yet going a leg higher. So now let's flip over to the dollar, because this is ultimately what's playing a major role in everything we're doing right now. So dollar, weekly time frame wise, RSI breaking 50 level. We see that. Brutal. And in the stochastic, RSI is in the overbought area, which is good for us. A/21 SMA cross below price. Take my drawings away real quick. Not good. We still did get this cross with the 50 and 200, so that is good though. So overall, I mean, SMA wise, we can't really get that clear of a telltale sign what's going on right now. But daily time frame wise, let's flop down to the daily. So looking at the daily time frame wise, looking at this little Wyckoff method right here, we did break this creek. We're coming up and we're bouncing right from this demand zone around 99, which we don't want to see this bounce right here, but it's kind of like what we need on Apple. We need that break of that supply zone or previous high. So we need that break of that previous high and we need to come back down to create that supply zone into a demand, that former supply zone into demand. And looking at this, I mean, RSI coming out of the oversold area, or overbought area and the stochastic coming out of the overbought area. I think that truthfully may see a little. Actually, no, I don't think we're going to see that much downside here. I think we're going to see a little bounce from this, and truthfully, we need to see this 99 level broken for further downside, but daily RSI is coming out of overbought area, kind of giving mixed signal, but think we see another leg up to 101 before coming higher, unless we can hold the 200 SMA. Unless we can hold this before coming lower, I should say. So before we say, yeah, we're coming down, we're going higher, we need to see if this 101 breaks, that's really when we're going to want to pay attention, because that's a pretty key level right there, right in this zone around here, 101, 102. That is a pretty key level right there that we do not want to see broken. So ultimately, I do see the dollar bouncing here a little bit, and when we looked at USDT.D, how bullish that looks, USDC.D, when we added them, how bullish that looks, how bearish tactically a lot of these crypto pairs like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana look right now. They're kind of hanging on by a thread right now. We're praying that it bounces from these key demand zones and key levels. NASDAQ looking really good though. But like we showed in NASDAQ, like we showed in Apple, and like we showed in IWM, we might be having a little bit more downside. These signals are giving us, and just overall geopolitically, these signals are indicating that dollar might be headed a little higher tactically. So not like long term, but just short term, maybe the next couple weeks. So let's flip over to gold. So weekly RSI in major overbought zone. This chart is so overextended, it's crazy, but we're not even close to the Orochimoku cloud or any of the SMAs except the 8. Stochastic in overbought area. SMAs below price. No, hold up. Yeah, obviously SMAs below price, but we are seeing such a ramp up in gold because of uncertainty in global markets in general, which precious metals are a great hedge, especially for central and commercial banks. We got to think that, especially China, they've been buying precious metals for years upon years upon years, and it's a great hedge, especially with the U.S. government shutdown with so much uncertainty. It's just a really good hedge in general. All SMAs still below price. We have such major gaps in this price action. We are bound to see a pullback eventually. What we want to see is a little slide or slow chop up in precious metals, and a slow rise and chop up in stock and crypto majors. So like Bitcoin, we want to see it chopping, but still coming higher. And stocks like Apple, Meta, Tesla, things of this sort, we want to see it chop. We still want to see it coming a little higher, but we want to see it kind of chopping higher, not like insanely vertical higher like it's been. So let's flop down to the daily real quick. Daily time frame wise, RSI breaking above 50 level with stochastic bottom and oversold area along with your Orochimoku cloud distance from price ranging from 3,900 to 4,100. So with this 50 level, looks like we're coming above this 50 level along with the oversold area and the stochastic. Overall, gold looks really good here. I really like this. Now, if we're getting into positions wise, this isn't financial advice, but this is kind of the position. This is kind of the type of position I'm looking for. Since we had a break of this Wyckoff Creek right here, we had a break of this creek, and we are seeing a trend right here. 200 SMA below price, along with all the other ones below price. This is really good. I would probably want to get in. If I wanted to be more risky, I'd get in on this position right here, around 3,974, put my stop loss below here. And if I wanted to be a little more safe, I'd probably wait for a pullback into here, into this supply zone completely, like maybe a sweep of this high around 4,050, and then a little pullback before I put it in. So maybe something like that, like a little 1-to-1, 1-to-2, versus this being more of I guess this is a 1-to-2, so more of like a 1-to-1 if I want to be, less risky. So I'll probably look for this, but I don't know, not financial advice. But gold looking really good here. Nothing really bad to say about it. Let's flip over to silver. Silver, very similar to gold. Weekly time frame price still well distanced from Orochimoku cloud. SMA still below price. RSI in overbought area along with stochastic trying to break 50 level to downside. So this is kind of telling us that we might see a little more pullback in silver right now, weekly wise. When we flip down to the daily, we look at these RSIs. Just like this one, let's flip back to the daily in here. Yeah, so looking very similar to gold in the aspect of we see a chop on this RSI, this daily RSI, right around the 50 level. And then looking at silver in the stochastic, and then gold and stochastic, we are in the oversold area. So ultimately, looking very similar to gold, but daily time frame wise, prices holding 50 and 200 SMA, RSI chopping at 50 levels, stochastic and oversold area, giving a different look than weekly. H4 time frame wise, so let's go down to the 4 hour. I like to trade on the 4 hour and 1 hour depending on what price action looks like. Gold, I'm trading on the 4 right now, and silver, I'm trading on the 4. Gold, I'm trading on the 1 hour. So looking at this, I mean, this is looking really good right here. I can't lie. What I want to see though is I either want to see this high of 49.34 broken, which I'm pretty sure it is going to get broken, or this break of 46.8 broken before pulling back, maybe looking for some entries around 4.65 and the 0.75, 0.79, 4 hour Fibonacci retracement swing high to swing low zone. That's ultimately a really good zone to get in. Obviously, we need to check the market news. We need to see how the Dixie's doing in general, how the yields are doing, which I will pull up next. It's not looking too good, guys. But yeah, right now I think silver's looking really good here. Let's hop over to Euro USD. Now, let's say I want to get in a position. Ultimately, I'm trying to get into a position either right here or right here. Those are pretty much going to be the best ones. I mean, back at this demand zone, one more tap in here for a leg higher, or I'm going to wait for something like this. Chop higher. What the? Oh, whoops, wrong one. I'm going to wait for something like this, a little break, and then a little pullback, and then I would enter something like this around here. Maybe even extend that. Now I'm going to Valhalla with this to that all-time high. So I'm looking at silver. Let's flip over to Euro USD. Weekly time frame, price still well distanced from Orochimoku cloud. 50 plus 200 SMA still below price, but we are seeing an 8 and 21 cross above price. RSI coming down at a 50 level with stochastic in oversold area. So we are at this 50 level, similar to silver here. In the aspect of it's opposite though for the stochastic. Wait, no. This is weekly. Flip over to weekly. So we're in the over bought area. We're coming down actually from the 50 level right here. Maybe seeing a little bounce right here. Then silver, we were breaking that 50 level, and here we're in the oversold area. So honestly, your USD is looking a lot better than silver right now. I think that ultimately, let's flip down to the daily. We'll get a better look. Daily time frame wise, RSI bouncing, but still below 50 levels, stochastic and oversold area. We need to hold 1.145 level to see more upside. Next major high to break for more upside and bullish market structure will be that 1.7250 level. So this is what I kind of show here. So we either want to see a breakdown here and a push up, because this is kind of our last leg before there's nothing under here, and this will be a huge dump. Thankfully, I hedged my position on this earlier this week, so I didn't lose out on too much. But RSI looking like it's coming up to that 50 level with stochastic coming in the overbought or oversold area. It's looking good. Let's hop down to the 4 hour real quick. 4 hour time frame wise, RSI still has more room for upside with stochastic being an overbought area. Looking at swing high, swing low fib retracement, which is the blue one on my screen, we are trading right at the 0.5 level, so we'll want to see a hold here. We also have the 8/21 and 50 SMA crossing, which is a good sign. Overall, I don't think I would be taking any positions until I see the H4 supply zone taken at 1.6696 or the demand zone taken at 1.14689. So that's going to be this line right here or this line right here. I don't think I'm going to, but also this does look pretty nice right here, but I just got to see more. I got to see more price action before I fully decide. So I kind of explained this chart a little more in depth in my last video, but long story short, light blue IWM Russell 2000, and dark red we have the S&P 500, and dark blue we have the US 10-year bond yield, and then in lighter red we have the VIX S&P 500 volatility index, and in yellow, we have the credit spread, and then in green, we have dollars. So we can obviously see the dollars trending up, the VIX is spiking, and the credit spread is spiking along with the US 10-year yields, and we see the S&P 500 IWM dropping. So ultimately, I think we're going to see a little bit of spike in the dollar here, spike in credit spreads a little bit, and the VIX, but ultimately, I don't think it's going to be long-lived. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and God be with you.